Boom! What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today is a cool one because I really enjoy being able to try beers from, like, brand new beers from brand new breweries that I've never tried before, and that's exactly what we got here today. We got one here from Brewing out of Bellingham, Washington. Washington. Well, I don't know how I messed that up. Okay. But this one is called the Googly Eyes Double IPA, which I just love, like, kind of like the jackalope kind of a little guy on the front right there. But yeah, it's a double IPA. I really don't know much about this one. So on Untapped, it really doesn't give you like a description of this beer, but I was able to find a little bit of something on Wander's website when it comes to, because this beer is currently on tap over there, but I'm not 100% sure if they, because they come out with this beer around the same time every single year, but I'm not sure if they change up the recipe at all when it comes to possibly using different hops or all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to go, when I'm reading the description of this guy, I'm going to go off of just reading what's on their website itself, just because that's going to be my closest thing to actually knowing the experience I'm going to get with this one. But yeah, it's a double IPA. I'm assuming it's be pretty hazy just for what I've seen in the pictures and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty damn excited. I've never had anything from Wander Brewing before either. So that's what makes this one a little bit extra special, due to just, I love trying stuff from new breweries that have never crossed my path before. So with it being an 8.5%, of course I already know this is something that's not going to be considered sessionable in my head, just because you guys know by now my sessionable range just kind of ends at a 7.5. So it's not sessionable in my head already. So I'm expecting some nice kind of hoppy flavors, of course, hoping it's a little bit hazy as well. So yeah, I'm going to go in with this with an open mind. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this guy. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, very bright and citrusy. Definitely getting a good, like, a sweetness. Definitely getting like almost like a grapefruit citrusiness coming through it. Oh yeah, this is definitely, I can already tell just by the smell that this is going to be something I think I'm going to enjoy. That smells absolutely delicious. So I'm going to be drinking this out of my Fibs Brewing Company glass. Of course, I don't think we have these glasses available at the moment. I'm not 100% sure when we're going to be getting these back in, but if we do, you guys will be the first to know, because if anybody wants to place an order with me, I can get this stuff at the brewery and get it shipped to you as well. So let's pour this thing and see what this guy's all about. Oh yeah, already looks like it's going to be pretty damn hazy. It almost has like an orangish yellow kind of color to it. Nice, soft, white, fluffy head on the top already. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be an absolutely delicious one. Look at that. A little bit more of a head than I thought. My pour really kind of lacked there at the end, but I think that looks kind of nice. Yeah, really nice, like, orangish, yellowish kind of color to it. Yeah, still getting that, like, almost tropical fruit and citrus kind of vibe going on the nose right now. Definitely has that. There's nothing really bitter when it comes to how this smells right now. It almost has like a hint of like fresh fruit when it comes to the citrusiness. Like, it's just, yeah, that smells absolutely fantastic. When it comes to aroma, this is probably one of the better smelling IPAs I've put on the nose in a long time. Yeah, that smells absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to give this thing a try and see what it's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Thursday. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So right off the bat, not really getting much bitterness to this whatsoever. Definitely getting a little bit of a booziness, knowing that it's an 8.5%. But all that I'm really getting when it comes to flavors is just the very nice tropical fruit and citrus flavors coming through. Almost has maybe like a little bit like a mango kind of, like pineapple kind of thing at the end. Very bright citrusy flavors, getting like a lot of hints of grapefruit, orange, all that kind of stuff. It's just really nice. Very refreshing, and definitely getting that little bit of a boozy kind of kick right now. Yeah, it's starting to warm up. Too hot out here. Yeah, it's definitely starting to warm up here. This past week has been really nice where we haven't had to put the AC on, but now it's starting to warm up a little bit, so we're going to probably be putting the AC on here at the house pretty damn soon, I would say. But let's go over to Wander's website. Of course, if you want to look and see what Wander has to offer, I have the link to their website down in the description below if you want to just take a look at it. But let's see what the description of this guy shows on Wander's website. So it's the Googly Eyes Hazy Double IPA, and what they say here is once a year we allow our typically laser-focused brewers' eyes to get a little googly and pull out all the stops on a big hazy double IPA. This year's Googly Eyes is double dry hopped with dense layers of citra and sprinkling of cashmere that results in a rich, overripe citrus profile that is equally parts sweet, juicy, and dank. An intense but balanced drinking experience with low bitterness and very slight alcohol warmth to keep your eyes wide open and extra googly. Yeah, so it looks like citra and cashmere. Of course, cashmere is going to have a little bit of that like dank kind of funk to it, even though maybe you got a little bit of that from the citra. But yeah, very, very strong tropical fruit vibes on this one. Very, very juicy. Very like low bitterness when it comes to like hoppy bitterness on this one is very, very impressive. It's just overall an absolutely delicious double IPA. This is probably one of the better double IPAs I've had in a while. The flavors I'm getting out of this one, I would expect out of like a nice triple or a quad IPA, to be honest. That's how explosive and juicy these flavors are, and they did an absolutely fantastic job. Yeah, this is delicious. So, let me pour a little bit more into the glass. And let's take a look at Untapped here and see if there's anybody on my friends list who drank this guy. So, let's see here. Of course, going to Untapped. Let's look at my friends list and see if anybody checked this one in. Yeah, we got a couple people. Of course, when I purchase this stuff, I usually purchase 2 when I purchase off Tavor. So, my father checked this one in, and he gave it a 3.75 out of 5, which I'm actually really surprised about. But then, another guy that he's actually an Untapped moderator, you can kind of pay for that role. He gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which I'm surprised about that one too. I'm really, really enjoying this one. So, before we start looking at the global ratings, all that kind of stuff, let's see what they show here as similar beers on the similar beers list when it comes to being able to find something maybe similar that you can get your hands on if I mention something on this list. So, of course, we got another one here from Wander Brewing, which is their single IPA Strata, which I'm not going to suggest that do, because most likely if you can't get your hands on this one, you most likely can get your hands on that one as well. And let's see, we got one here called Peach Season from Treehouse Brewing Company. Treehouse has definitely made a name for themselves over the years, so this Peach Season may be an option. It's a nice 8.1% double IPA. Yeah, juicy, getting peach flavors in there. Orange, so you're getting citrus, a little bit of like stone fruit and all that kind of stuff. That one may be similar, but I don't think that one's going to be as bright and citrusy as this one is. Let's see, we got one here from Structures Brewing called In Circles, which is a 6.9% New England Hazy IPA. Doesn't really have a description on this guy either. And then we got one here from Stemma Brewing Company called It's Another Double IPA. And let's see, what's that one about? Let's see. Citrus, Centennial, Chinook, Simcoe. That one looks more of like the West Coast kind of style IPA, a little bit more, less of a haze, more of a murkiness, more malty, add a little bit more yeast to it. So that one's going to probably be, I think that one's going to be a little bit more drier in my opinion. So, see, this one's going to be tough. Out of this list, I'm probably going to suggest the Peach Season to be the most similar, even though like the apricot's going to give you a little bit different flavors. It's going to the peaches, of course, is going to add a nice, maybe a little bit of tartness. Where like, well, see, okay, so they do use peach puree in this one, so that's going to have a little bit of tartness. You got orange, you got apricot, which is probably going to be the flavors coming through from the hops. But yeah, I think that's going to be nice and tropical, a little bit of citrus, so I think that's going to be easily the most similar out of this list. And that sounds actually pretty fantastic. I love when people start adding purees into like their hazy IPAs due to it, because you can always add the puree when it's in the bright to kind of help with the haziness. Of course, you're not adding clearing agents as well. So, other than that, yeah, that's probably be the one I'm going to choose. But let's look back here at Untapped. And of course, like I mentioned before, it's an 8.5% ABV. So, I said at the beginning, not going to consider this beer sessionable at all. And with over 1,256 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.08 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. They definitely have a couple of other variants. It looks like they have all the different like year variants when it comes to the Googly Eyes. So if you There's the 2018 they're showing here, 2019 and 2020. I'm just doing it under the regular blanket Googly Eyes Untapped page itself. But let's look here at the global ratings and see what other people had to say. So this person purchased it at Wander Brewing because it's available on tap over there right now. And he gave it a 4 out of 5. Must have gotten it in a flight because he got a taster of it. Let's see. We got another 4.25 out of 5. Another 4.25. We got a 3.75. Another 4. Then we got a 3.25 right here. So this guy gave it a 4, saying delicious and strong, hazy, somewhat fruity, but not too much. Yeah, this definitely has some strong flavors in it. A little bit of booziness. Definitely having fruity flavors coming through on this one, but it's not bitter. It's not overpowering in any kind of aspect. It's just really, really well balanced. Let's see what else. Another 4. We got another 3.5. 3.5. Let's see, 4. This guy purchased it at the Lathrop State Park. If I think I'm saying that right. I wonder if that's weird. Can you buy beer at state parks? It's in Colorado. I guess you might be able to. That's pretty cool. But he gave it a 3.75. Let's do 3 more. We got a 4. We got another 4.25, and the last one we're gonna look at here is another 3.75. So overall, yeah, Ray, I would say ratings are pretty all over the place, from 3.75s to 3.5s to 4s to 4.25s. There's definitely a good balance of a little bit of back and forth when it comes to what people are rating this one. But overall, yeah, I think this one's absolutely fantastic. I'm a really, really big fan. I love the fruity flavors. I love the citrusiness. I love the tropical fruit notes. I love how it's not as bitter as some IPAs can be. You can get like that upfront like bitterness, maybe a little bit of dryness coming through. But I think they just did with this one absolutely, to me, I don't want to say perfectly, but this is definitely, when it comes to a kind of Imperial double IPA or anything higher than like that, this is what my kind of flavors that I want out of it. Something to kind of come through a little bit more fruity, not as much bitterness, and just overall a really, really refreshing IPA for sure. So, with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings over here on our own with this guy. So, first, we like to look at can art, and of course, well, if you guys saw my post on Instagram, there's a kind of little jackalope just sitting there, almost googly-eyed. Of course, it almost has that 3D kind of effect on there to where it looks like that I want to put on 3D glasses and look at it and see if it pop out of my face, just because it has like that color in the background, almost having the different like layers of it. And then they have like googly eyes kind of in the background. I really like the blues in it. Their logo is really clean. Of course, the Wander Brewing logo is right there. But overall, yeah, they took a good amount of advantage of the real estate they have in the can art. Of course, they draw you in with the jackalope on there, making the funny face. I like the colors. Has this very like almost 80s kind of vibe to it as well. And the font and everything on there is really, really cool. Definitely something eye-catching for sure. So, if I saw this in a liquor store or bottle shop, yeah, this is definitely something that caught my attention for sure. Just because I think it's silly, but not in any kind of like child appealing kind of way or something like that. So overall, I'm gonna give this a 4.25 out of 5 for can art. I definitely enjoy this one. I don't know if this is one that I might save. Who knows? We'll see what the stock of can art labels is looking like right now. But let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Wander Brewing right now, would I get another one? Absolutely. This is definitely one of the better double IPAs I think I've had in a minute. Even though these are, like I said, these are some flavors that I would expect out of like a triple and a quad, just because those very, very upfront fruit flavors, a little bit of dankiness to it. Yeah, I think this was absolutely fantastically well done. So big shout outs to Wander from coming out with this one. This being my first experience. Yeah, outstanding. Definitely outstanding. So yeah, I would 100% get one of these in the flight. Well, no, if I got in a flight, I would definitely 100% get another one of these by itself. I would probably get a couple 4-packs to bring home, in my opinion, because I like it that much. But let's see here. With that being said, what is my final rating on this guy going to be? Let me think. I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8.75 out of 10. Really, really enjoy it. If you can get your hands on this one from Wander, if you're on the West Coast, most likely you'll have some availability out there. It looks like I saw somebody drink it in Colorado, so you may have some Colorado availability. But if you're looking to try some other beers from Wander Brewing, of course I could recommend Tavour to be the biggest option when it comes to being able to try some different stuff that you normally can't get your hands on, due to Tavour kind of having that beer delivery kind of service to them. And they're an absolutely fantastic company doing a lot of cool things right now. So if you're not a part of Tavour's like service, you can go to their website down in the description below, check them out. Of course, you can kind of set up a subscription kind of based service, or you can kind of build your own box like how I do. But I think the service that they provide over there is just absolutely fantastic. Great people over at Tavour. So I cannot say enough good things about those guys. So other than that, yeah, 875 I think is where I'm going to leave this one. Absolutely fantastic. But other than that, I think that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. I've been noticing some weird things going with my YouTube where my subscriber count is going down, but my view count is going up. So I have no idea what the hell is going on with that. I'm just going to kind of let it just play out and see what happens. But trying to get to 500. So if you have any friends that are looking for some different kind of content to watch, bring up my name, and who knows, they might find something they enjoy. They might be a craft beer fan, so who knows if we can get close to that 500 by the end of the year. I'd be really happy if we got to 500 by the end of the year, because that'd be a big milestone, and it just shows that people are enjoying the content I'm making. But other than that, if you want to follow me on all my social media platforms, you got my Instagram where you'll see all the stuff I'm going to be reviewing that day. Of course, you'll see the hand checks of the day of the review for what is going to be reviewed. And then, of course, you'll see other shenanigans going on at the brewery when I'm working over at Fibs and all that kind of stuff. But of course, you can always shoot me a friend request on Untapped as well. You guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. It's a fantastic platform. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's awesome. You check in beers, you get badges, all that kind of stuff, and they offer so many different things when it comes to just all the different like services that Untapped like promotes and does within the app itself. So if you're not on there yet, I highly recommend you doing so. If you're a craft beer fan and you're not on Untapped yet, you're doing something wrong. And if you haven't shot me a friend request, yes, link to my profile is down in the description below. Shoot me a friend request. I would love to see what you guys are drinking. Other than that, if you want to mainly support me, of course, the platform I'm going to talk about right now is going to be my Patreon. It's going to be the best way for me to get more beer in my hands now that my stock of beer from Tavour is starting to run a little low, so where I'm going to have to kind of be a little bit lenient on possibly going out there and try to get a little bit more beers in my hands. But that's going to be the best way to support me, guys, when it comes to just helping out with the content, helping out with getting more beers in my hands. If you join the Patreon, you'll be taking part in monthly 4-pack giveaways of Illinois exclusive craft beer that I pick out personally. So you'll be able to get your hands on some stuff that you most likely wouldn't be able to get near you. So it's like a win-win. I get a little bit of help from you guys, and I'm helping you guys by getting your hands on some new beers that you normally can't get your hands on. So if you want to support me, my main place that I'm going to send you is going to be the Patreon. There's a good group of people over there right now that are already supporting me. So if you want to do that, link to that is down in the description below as well. But other than that, let's see. I think that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching the replay as well. You guys are awesome. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.